You know him. You love him. It's Major Tom and Warbrain.
Yeah!
He was the Gunstringer.
Alright, today we're going to be going over Twisted Pixel's latest release for the Kinect, their first game for the Kinect, the Gunstringer.
Yes. It's probably the best game for the Kinect so far.
By far.
Yeah.
If we had to say one thing right away, that would be it. The best game on the Kinect, by far.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll talk about the story. Basically, you're like this, in charge of this puppet, so you're like the puppeteer. And he's like, this puppet, he's basically like a guy that comes from the grave, basically.
Yeah.
And he's on a quest to like kill everyone that's betrayed him.
Yeah.
And so, and it's like a live play. You're on a stage, so the crowd's there.
Yeah, and they're either like cheering you if you're doing good or if you get hit.
Doing
Yeah.
bad, Which I thought was like a real creative thing because I've never really seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
You know, you see like when the boss comes, they'll get angry or the looks on their face. You know, they'll get up and high five each other.
Yeah.
You know, just do ridiculous things that add to like the humor and I don't know, just the style of the game. You know, makes it more unique. And basically, the Kinect controls, they're very simple. You got one hand will control the puppet, moving left or right, or you flick your arm up to make him jump.
Yeah.
Your second arm acts as your gun, which is a 6-shooter. So, saying that, you can only lock, you basically just scroll over enemies, and you can lock on to 6 of them. And then you pull your arm back, which represents like recoil, and then it fires all the shots and reloads the gun automatically. It's set up like in chapters, so each chapter is like, you're after a certain guy. So you go through like obstacles in each level to get to the main guy and the boss, and that's how it goes throughout the entire game.
You know, usually it's like waves of enemies or something,
Or some levels might be just going through obstacles, boulders coming at you, you got to dodge them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like shooting and dodging things. So basically, the game is like a platforming shooter. So you're always jumping around and dodging stuff while shooting everything. So it's not just like you're staying there shooting, because then it would be too simple. You know what I mean?
At least it's not a huge part of the game is the platforming.
No. And even, throughout the game, you got this narrator guy with you with like this Western accent or whatever. And he like narrates the story as going on. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and even when you're messing up or something, it kind of he'll give you hints, but he won't do it in a way that is like yelling at you. It's kind of like he's still telling the story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
like, and he needs to get out of cover to make the shot.
Yeah,
I know. Okay, dude.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. So it kind of doesn't take away from his narrating that he's doing.
And I like they add a lot of humor to it, and like at random parts you see like hands come in and place props and stuff, and that was just very creative
throw
process.
boulders or something.
So basically, you go through the game, and you get money for like every level you unlock. Yeah. You also get medals, like your rating for the level.
Yeah.
Like bronze, silver, gold. So you also have the option to go back and try to improve your scores. And there's also like this huge bonus store where there's like millions of things.
Well, see,
to buy.
like that's the thing is when you played through it and you got all this money, you didn't even look at the bonus store. And you're like, oh, I got all this money.
What did we have? We had like $400,000. And we spent it, and we unlocked like maybe a small percentage of the store.
Yeah, I mean it was ridiculous. You thought you had a lot.
Yeah.
You thought you were going to be able to buy most of the stuff, but then you start buying stuff and. I mean, you didn't even buy all the pictures. You bought a couple things in like the bigger bonus area, but you still spent like $200,000.
It's not like just all like if you're not into like the pictures or looking at the arc or anything. There's even like new game modes you could or they have also
like cheat codes and stuff.
Yeah. Like commentary, you could change the commentary. The guys from Rooster Teeth are in there. A bunch of guys from Gears of War.
Yeah, like even Cliffy B's in there.
Yeah,
so.
It seemed like a lot of people that were involved in Microsoft are in there. Talking. Even like Major Nelson's in there.
Yeah.
Which was,
I thought that was pretty cool that they. I mean, it's like getting the special edition of a game or of a movie and having all the special features. You just have to unlock it, but you get so much money. It's not if you're looking for to get something. It's not going to be hard to get it.
The game you can also play co-op with a friend. Basically, they jump in, raise their hand, and they get their own like cap gun logo and goes around the screen, and they just help shoot. So if you're not doing a shooting scene, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So they're only involved with the shooting.
I will say it did seem a little funky trying to get people in. It was very frustrating because sometimes it wouldn't read that person. It would just start reading them as the first player. So, but once the person was in the game, it worked fine. So, I mean, we had times where we were trying to get people in, and it would just be like, oh, looks like you're shooting now, and I'm controlling the guy running.
Yeah, but once you get in there, it works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And you also get like medals and more money for completing the levels in co-op. And there's some parts in the game where like you got to use both guns, and it's definitely easier when you have like a second person with you firing.
For sure. I mean, yeah, you still. It's like any light gun game in the arcade or something too. You get kind of confused with whose crosshairs are whose when you're like, especially in a really intense situation. And sometimes you lose which one's yours. But
you're like, we're shooting everything.
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. So you just start shooting everything.
So basically, this game does have a lot of replay value, and even the best thing about it, I thought, was the price. The game's only $40.
Yeah.
And it comes with a downloadable token inside of it for Kinect Fruit Ninja for free too.
Yeah.
So you get all of that for $40 only.
Yeah. So I mean, you're pretty much. Fruit Ninja's like not exactly its own like full game, really.
No.
It's kind of like just its own mini game.
But it's like cool because it adds something else you can also play in the
exactly,
Kinect too.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So I mean, it gives you enough time to play your Kinect. You know?
Yep. And that seems like Twisted Pixel has always tried to keep their prices like fair for everybody to buy their games, even on like their like downloadable titles. They haven't been like overpriced like all the other ones that come out. And they've always done like a good job on their games, like 100%.
Yeah. It's not like. It's not a big budget game, but it still has that. It's still really enjoyable, and more so than a lot of the more expensive games that they come out with. So
we'll talk a little bit about the achievements, which basically I would say most of them are pretty easy.
Yeah,
they're mainly like all story related. Then they are the real hard ones, like beating the entire game on hardcore mode. Which hardcore mode basically like all your hits take like double damage, and you basically have to practice the game a lot to get through all the levels, and not dying. And then,
you got some that are like beating certain bosses in an amount of time, and then you got your unlock everything.
Yeah, which will probably be your longest one. But you'll get everything else leading up to there probably anyways if you want to get everything. The game also has free DLC already. It's basically, I played it. It's basically like this live action. It seems like a little bit like a Back to the Future story. There's like this time machine that was stolen, and of course it's a car.
Yeah.
And basically this guy tells you, help him get it back. And so it's real people on the screen, and at random parts you got to decide if that's the right person to shoot or something. Because they'll like bust out a gun real quick, and then you got to shoot him or something.
Yeah.
And then you could restart if you get killed or if you shoot the wrong person.
Yeah.
But it was like something really cool that I've never seen.
So does it
before.
control pretty much the same as Gunstringer?
No, it's just it walks for you, so you only got to shoot randomly.
So it's like a House of the Dead or something.
Yeah. And it's like really slow paced, but it's like very like funny, like the humor on it. It's like really, I don't know. It's like you got to try it out. It's like really bizarre. Yeah. It was real creative.
I mean, that's a lot of value though for $40.
Exactly. And that's basically all we can say about the Gunstringer. I definitely think you should check it out.
For sure. If you got to Kinect, this has to be in your library. If you got any other games, this is one you definitely need.
And if you enjoy, this game and you haven't played any of the other games, I'd definitely at least say download the demos of their other games, and you'll probably like them a lot. And that'll call it wraps. And next week we got a huge game we're reviewing, Gears of War 3, which I'm very excited about.
It's one of the biggest ones we've done.
Yep.
The biggest one we've done, I think.